What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome to our little corner of the internet. Today we're going to be watching a video titled Inside America's Most Segregated City, Milwaukee. I feel like I've heard about Milwaukee before for some reason. We haven't made videos about it, so I don't know where exactly I've heard of the city, but I don't know. Let's see what this video is about.
Ed Henning's life was over before he knew it.
I decided to get into the street gang. Was it going to result in any type of death or shootings? I just wanted some money.
Ed's story says a lot about his city, Milwaukee, the most segregated city in America. That nickname came from a Brookings Institution study that found people in Milwaukee are less likely to live among people of a different race than in any other city. The West and East are white, the South is Hispanic, and the North is black, including North Milwaukee, the city's poorest and most violent hood.
I was growing up, like I said, segregated. North side over here where I'm at was basically predominantly black people. On the south side, it was predominantly Latino people. Everywhere else was white. So we was kind of confined to a prison within a city.
The mainstream media says the segregation and plight of places like North Milwaukee are a
This is something that like only recently I've come to notice, that in America, you know, race is still kind of a bigger thing than what I actually expected it to be, since I feel like in Europe we're getting pretty used to kind of just like being very mixed. I mean, coming from someone who's black and white, but you know, like I was surprised to see that there's still, you know, areas that are considered, you know, white and black and so on.
Function of redlining and racism. We went to hear what locals thought and heard a totally different perspective.
But coming out of this community, you have to be Michael Jordan to get out.
How do we get in the house of families and tell them to be a family again?
Yeah, man, we lit, folks. Come to Milwaukee on my daddy. Just be in the right spot so you can get your ass dropped on my daddy.
North Milwaukee wasn't always like this. In fact, it was once a boom town with its factories and breweries drawing thousands of workers into the area. Today, the jobs are gone. Boarded up buildings are everywhere.
Right now you are in the inner city of Milwaukee.
This does look so nice though. I mean, look at these houses. They look like brand new nearly. It looks beautiful.
The community where I grew up in, this was once a community that had the manufacturing industries. A lot of manufacturing industries raised the people that was born and raised here. But in the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of those manufacturing industries left. And it left this part of the city with nothing to replace it.
Back there was an abandoned factory or a rundown factory. Over here looks like another factory.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing this is where a lot of people worked, right? In the community, they worked around here?
Yes. And you know, you didn't have to travel far.
Yeah.
You know, you went right to work, and people had boats, they had motorcycles, you know, in addition to their regular everyday vehicles. You know, it was some prosperity, man. Chicago, the big city, 90 miles away. A lot of Chicago people came up here to hang out on the weekends because Milwaukee was just that good in the 60s and 70s. This is why the great migration of the 60s happened from the South. A lot of African-American people from the South moved to Milwaukee and Midwestern cities because of the manufacturing boom. And then that's what gave them a better quality of life from the.
It looks really nice though. It looks like just a very calm neighborhood. I mean, there's some kids parks and, you know, like a lot of kind of communal outside areas. I don't know. It looks really nice.
South. And then it left.
One result of the situation
And every lawn is like nicely cut and looks clean, and you know.
is crime. The city's homicide rate is the 13th highest in the nation, and we heard gunshots while walking outside. Ed can explain why better than almost anyone else. But what do you look at here and think this is, you know, this is a segregated community? This is a.
What is Justin Bieber doing sitting in the back, first of all? And second of all, what? That's crazy.
A less prosperous community than elsewhere. What are the kind of the signs that you see?
Everything, really. There's so many things I could start with. Let's just go with these gas stations. You see the youngsters hanging out, sitting at the gas station, just hanging out. When you go to the suburban communities, you might not see this. You might see a swimming pool. You might see a park with some nice basketball courts. You know, you're gonna see access to different opportunities in the suburban community where the access in this community is slim. 90% of the time, somebody gonna get shot on a nightly basis. Once
That's
again,
crazy.
poverty. My uncle, who had an altercation and beef, what we call it, in the neighborhood with some guys, I intervened in the beef, which happens every day in the hood, which happens every day in the streets. You always squashing arguments. You always diffusing these type of things, but I went in to diffuse it, and by then I'm carrying guns now, all of these type of things, and the argument it escalated, and I ended up shooting a guy. He died, and I was facing my life in prison. And not once did I think, when I decided to get into the street gang, was it gonna result in any type of death or shootings. I just wanted some money.
Ed was charged with first-degree homicide, which carries life imprisonment. But then came the conviction.
Instead of life in prison, I was sentenced to 40 years. But
40 years.
40 years in prison. I served 20 of the 40. But my perspective was, the day I got the 40 years was, I got another chance.
It's really, really sad about, like, in neighborhoods where there is, like, a lot of criminal activity or gangs. It's very, very easy for especially younger children to get drawn into that because it's just there and it's accessible and it feels like you belong and all of that. It's really, really sad to see, but well, he does seem like a nice person. I'm glad he got out.
I mean, my chance came that day, but without any work. But I had a chance.
If you're enjoying this video, please subscribe. We release 2 mini docs a week. Subscribe so you don't miss them.
I took barber and cosmetology while I was in prison. I took auto detailing when I was in prison. I took culinary class. I did everything that was available to me to better myself. Reading books, challenging myself. That's one thing that I tell people a lot is, don't run from challenges, jump in there, challenge yourself.
So many people get out of jail, they go back to jail, right?
Yeah,
and they say that the system doesn't work, it doesn't rehabilitate people.
Yeah.
But it worked for you, would you say?
The system didn't work for me, I took it upon myself.
Henning's sentence was eventually reduced to 20 years, and in 2016, he...
I feel like that's for most people though who go to prison. Like you have to work yourself out. I think the prison system is like really, really bad. Regardless, I feel like that's something that should get better. But I mean, I understand why it's hard to make it better because we only have so much capacity, but...
walked free. After a year of working, he opened a barbershop.
Started a barbershop, did that, started the trucking business, did that, started the work boot business. All because I'm taking on these challenges. And that's been routine for 28 years now. It's just who I am.
Despite Henning's turnaround, he says it's absurd to think most people can do the same.
Also, I wonder how old he is because I thought he was like maybe, I don't know, 40 something, like 42 maybe. But if he's done 20 years in prison and he's opened businesses after that, and he just said for the past 28 years, does that include the prison time? Like, how long has your life been, sir?
The mountain is so high. From the outside looking in, you can say, why you didn't climb that mountain? And I'm gonna say, okay, well, let me put you in front of that mountain and let me see if you could have climbed it. That's like somebody that plays in the NBA. And you say, why you not Michael Jordan? Everybody's not gonna be Michael Jordan. But coming out of this community, you have to be Michael Jordan to get out. Just an interview.
Yeah, YouTube. Yeah. It's called Roca News, R-O-C-A News. Yo, what should people know about Milwaukee?
Shit, we lit, you know what I'm saying? We up next to. Shit's really shaking, you know what I'm saying? And there's love here too, you gotta just be out the way low. Yeah, man, we lit, folks. Come to Milwaukee on my daddy. Just be in the right spot so you can get your ass dropped on my daddy. Love y'all.
Yeah, so there you go, man. It's like this. The question was about
question.
A short drive away, Tanetta Jackson, an activist, echoed Ed's sentiment and traced the neighborhood's decline to the loss of manufacturing jobs.
Hundreds of people are losing their jobs, so what do? They resort to, I'm gonna get it any way I can.
Tanetta also blamed the decline of families.
And here's the other decline. Single parent homes, and a parent has to work 2 jobs to pay the rent and put food on the table. So if you have that, who's watching the children? So you could tell a woman that had their father in their life when you hold a conversation with them, and a woman that didn't grow up with a father in their life. Young boys too. You know, if your father was in your life, you wouldn't do or say certain things.
A group outside said the same thing. Broken families and a lack of jobs have destroyed North Milwaukee.
All our parents that raised us, gone.
Yeah.
So we raising our kids, and our kids is raising kids. They not adults yet to be raising kids. They kids raising kids. You know, they got 16, 15, and 14s out now raising these kids. And by the time they reach 20 or 25, their kids just not turning 10, 12, you know.
I mean, I get this part as well, but I just feel like it's very, very relative. I mean, I feel like this is like something that's happening all over the world right now, you know? I feel like it's just like, you know, when like there's this saying that you're the 5 people that surround you, and when there's a community like this that is kind of like enclosed, I feel like everybody starts kind of acting the same way because you just go around the same people and you learn the same ways, and then, you know, it might seem like a cycle, but I don't think it's like impossible to like change that, or, you know, to be different in an environment like that. It's hard, but it's not impossible.
And it's like, what can you tell a kid that if you ain't have morals of yourself from your own family?
People have
That
like
too.
a lack of labor skills. Like you don't have, like in the communities, you don't have carpenters, you don't have enough welders, you don't have enough.
There's programs out there for them.
But it said,
But everybody don't have an education for the programs.
People not exposed to it.
They the age to probably do the program, but the education is not there for
Do
the
you
program.
have to have that?
You
Because
just gotta
there's
have a
some
high school
apprenticeship.
diploma or a GED.
Okay.
I hate conflict so much that if like she was like arguing with me like that, I'd probably cry already.
You have to have that
You
because
just gotta
there's
have a
some
high school
apprenticeship.
diploma or a GED.
Okay. Even for
You
the
just gotta have a high school
apprenticeships.
diploma or a GED.
Even for the apprenticeships.
Yeah,
Oh,
GED at
really?
least for the apprenticeship.
Okay.
How'd you become a welder?
Well, I was living in Jacksonville, Florida, so there's a lot of blue-collar people down there, and I learned to trade because I realized, like, in order to make great money and make a living for yourself, you gotta have like a real good skill, you know, good skill set, because they say skills pay the bills. I think like the youth, they need blue-collar skills. They need to get exposure to that more than free stuff, because when they get exposed to like trades, that can change the whole like dynamics in the community. So we don't have a lot of
We don't have that anymore.
blue-collar skills. So that's the decline of people.
Yeah.
Now, everyone we spoke to in Milwaukee told us we needed to understand one thing: landlords.
Because I work in real estate, I will say the rent keeps going up because landlords think that, oh, because inflation goes up or cost of living goes up, that they can raise their rent 3 to 5%. But at the end of the day, the homes are not being taken care of because the renters are not being taken care of, and the renters are not taking care of the
I'm very, very glad for the landlord I have, because I have had like no issues at all, and like, you know, like everything's going very swimmingly, very like chill. You can do whatever, put whatever on the walls and stuff. But let me tell you, when I heard what the rent was in other apartments here and what I'm paying, I should have done my research.
house because they're not being taken care of. And at the end of the day, like, investors are just making more and more money on these people who can't afford their homes.
So they end up paying more for less.
Yep.
Because North Milwaukee has become so blighted, real estate is dirt cheap. Wealthy investors are snapping up these properties, sometimes buying dozens or hundreds of homes. No one is more known for this than Yusuf Joe Barada.
The guy from Morocco that bought everything, Barada, when he bought everything like that, he buy everything that he can monopolize and control the rent.
Right.
And so everybody else can raise that rent too.
Who owns some 9,000 apartment units in Wisconsin and famously evicted 800 people in a single day.
The letter said the company would file 50 evictions per week. But since January 24th, Barada has filed 850 evictions, more than 500
Wow.
since February 1st.
I can't make sense of this. I don't understand this approach, and it also is completely contrary to what we were told would happen.
In a statement, an attorney for Barada said in part, the decision was made to process a large number of evictions with the expectation that once tenants who have no hope of satisfying significant past due rent obligations have been evicted, the number of evictions filed out of necessity will immediately and significantly drop.
Barada is just the most notorious example, but many smaller investors are also buying homes in North Milwaukee and renting them out to the locals. Some of these landlords...
This is something that I haven't really heard. I don't know how it goes here, like the eviction system and that, but I've heard, I've seen a lot of videos in America, like, of people getting evicted, and that seems like I don't even know what you must be going through when you're in a situation like that. That's horrifying, especially when you've lived somewhere for the longest time and you have to leave. It's so stressful.
Landlords are good, we heard, but many are not and are known as slumlords.
I mean,
And that's a lot of people as well.
everybody got a landlord, but all landlords ain't good landlords because there's a bunch of slump landlords. Oh, I say that, slump landlords. You know what I'm saying? But
The presence of the investors in North Milwaukee is one of the few reminders that a whole other city exists outside of the North. That city has a booming downtown, mansions lining Lake Michigan, and a festival and fairground that draws thousands of tourists from across the country constantly. With the real estate purchases, perhaps some of that wealth will enter North Milwaukee, or perhaps the most segregated city in America will only become more so. Thank you for watching this video. We release 2 of these a week. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss our next ones from Detroit, Flint, and the American Southwest.
Oh, what is that? A new gaming video on my gaming channel? Oh my goodness. Who would have thought? Okay, anyways, shameless self-plug. If you haven't seen my gaming channel yet, we have one up. Please go check it out. It's in the description below. And now about Milwaukee, I feel like this has a lot of potential to it, honestly. It looks really beautiful. I feel like it can have potential to better a lot. I think everything right now can have a lot of potential to either go way better or way worse. I guess only time will tell. And thank you guys for joining me for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video.